Hey guys, Zen here, back with another travel vlog. This time we're headed to Ho Chi Minh City on Singapore Airlines flight SQ178 in business class. In this video, we will cover the must-visit SilverKris Terminal 3 Business Class Lounge and the in-flight experience. So let's get started. Singapore Airlines flights to Southeast Asian destinations depart from Changi Airport Terminal 2. However, as we will be visiting the Terminal 3 lounge, we checked in at Terminal 3 instead. Check-in was smooth and there was no line. Right, so I'm all checked in and now I'm headed to the lounge. As our boarding gate was at Terminal 2, we were instructed to use demand counters to clear immigration. This seems more like a system limitation, but since most people were using the automated gates, there was no queue for the manned counters, so it didn't bother us. After clearing immigration, turn left and look out for the giant batik print SilverKris billboard on the right. Just before heading up, the brightly lit storefront of Bacha Coffee caught my eye, and I decided to have a look inside. Singapore Airlines Business Class Lounge is located within the airline's SilverKris Lounge complex at Terminal 3. The Business Class Lounge can be accessed by guests flying in business class on Singapore Airlines as well as Star Alliance partner airlines. We'll cover the other side of the lounge later. For now, turn left and head towards the dining section. The lounge was renovated in 2021 and features a tasteful modern aesthetic. There was a made-to-order noodle bar at one end of the buffet line. In the middle, there is a beverage counter offering a selection of teas and coffee, next to which is a seating area overlooking the holding room for gates A1 to A8. The lounge offers various seating options, from bar counter tables to regular dining tables. Unlike the private room and first class lounge, the business class lounge has an abundance of windows, with views of the apron. Instead of private resting cabins found in first class, there is a communal quiet space with 14 semi-enclosed cubicles. Back to the buffet line, for breakfast, guests can expect a selection of dim sum items. Pancakes, noodles, and Indian cuisine. Lastly is another made-to-order counter which serves up Western breakfast platters. While not particularly luxurious, the food was equivalent to a decent hotel breakfast, and a good filler for those feeling peckish between flights. Next, we'll head back to the other side of the lounge, which houses the bar section. The bar was featured prominently in promotional material prior to the lounge reopening. One can see why. The bright and posh design naturally draws people in. Coffee and cocktails are served at breakfast and in the evening respectively. Beyond the bar are more seating areas. These overlook an indoor garden below. Seating here is also varied, with high bar counters, low armchairs, and even semi-enclosed productivity pods. Compared to Terminal 2, the lounge at Terminal 3 was much better, and worth a detour for business class travellers on Singapore Airlines or Star Alliance carriers. With time running short, we quickly made our way to Terminal 2 to board our flight to Ho Chi Minh City. It's our last trip of the year of 2022. Okay. Yeah. So we're done with breakfast at the lounge and now we're headed to T2 to hopefully board early so that, the cabin is totally empty. Our flight today is SQ178, departing at 9:50 AM and operated by an Airbus A350. At the time of recording, Singapore Airlines operates 64 examples of this workhorse of an aircraft. The aircraft we are flying on today is configured for regional routes and has Singapore Airlines regional business class product, first unveiled on the Boeing 787 Dreamliner back in 2018. We spent too much time in the lounge, and by the time we got to the gate, boarding had already commenced. Thankfully, business class wasn't too full and there was no queue down the aero bridge. There are 40 business class seats on Singapore Airlines A350 Regional, split into two cabins by a cluster of lavatories. laid out in a 1-2-1 configuration, meaning all seats get direct aisle access, a must for any modern business class seat. These seats measure up to 22 inches in width, 44 inches in pitch, or the distance between headrests, and reclines into a 76-inch fully flat bed. Interestingly, these seats form a straight bed, which differs from the typical angled beds you find on Singapore Airlines long-haul business class. However, not all seats are created equal. These seats alternate between being next to the aisle or window. For the convenience of having a more secure area to store your bag, you lose some sense of privacy being seated next to the aisle, and the window is further away.
So this is the only seat configuration where the side console is nearer to the window. It's a bit less private because it's nearer to the aisle, but I guess you can store stuff here.
Singapore Airlines offers hard copy menus in first and business class. On short flights, these take the form of a single-sided paper card or marginally heavier cardstock. Pre-departure drinks were also served. Let's go over some of the features of the seat, starting from the front. There is a spring-loaded coat hook, below which you will find a literature pocket. The side console features a high surface with a recessed cup holder, headphone holder, and a storage compartment that conceals an NFC reader for in-flight purchases, a pair of USB-A charging ports, and a universal power outlet. This is also where you can find your headphones. The headphones come in a soft plastic case. Lastly, there's a slide-out vanity mirror. Amenity kits were the same blue ones as on previous flights, and contain lip balm, hand lotion, and a facial mist by Penhaligon's. Below the console surface are a row of seat and lighting controls. The ambient and reading lights can be controlled from here. There are no individual overhead air vents. Next to your head are 3 more LED reading lights angled at various positions. Below the control strip is the IFE remote. Those familiar with Singapore Airlines seats in general will find this remote different. It does not have physical buttons or a control pad. It even looks like a phone from over 10 years ago. There is an 18-inch high-definition touchscreen display. The screen can be tilted down for better viewing angles in bed mode. While the footwell is rather narrow, it does have a good amount of height, so you won't find your feet kicking the ceiling.
Taxi into the runway. Going to the 3rd runway, which is the furthest one. And that means it'll take a while to taxi there. We'll see.
Concealed beneath the screen is the tray table, which unfolds to double in size, creating a sturdy surface for meals and work. As the flight to Ho Chi Minh City was only 2 hours, the crew were quick to begin serving the meals. Everything came on a single tray, which is the norm for short flights on Singapore Airlines. I pre-ordered off the Book the Cook menu.
This is the breakfast set. An omelette
I chose a croissant from the bread basket, which was just the right amount of buttery and flaky. The beef rendang was tender, and the coconut rice moist and fragrant. The entire dish was well executed and a good representation of what you will find on the ground. As it was a morning flight, the usual appetizer and dessert were replaced by sliced fruit and a cup of off-the-shelf yogurt, though I couldn't help but feel shortchanged by this. Just 15 minutes after breakfast was over, the captain came on the PA to announce we had begun our descent. The lavatory is located between the business class cabins and feels slightly larger than on the 737 MAX, but not too dissimilar from economy class, just with better amenities. The inclusion of a pedal to open the waist bin was also a nice to have feature. With the flight coming to an end, I decided to try bed mode. Simply hold down the recline button, either while seated or standing, until the seat fully reclines flat. The armrest can be collapsed down to create a larger bed surface.
So this seat turns into a fully flat bed. And with that, we've come to the end of this rather short flight to Ho Chi Minh City.
While certainly longer than the previous flight to Penang, this flight was shorter than a flight to Bangkok. Hence, while an affordable opportunity to try the business class seat and lounge at just 24,000 miles, I don't think it is necessary to fly business class for such a short flight, and would not have considered it had it not been for the sadly now discontinued travel hack. As mentioned in my previous video flying from Penang to Singapore, this trip is considered the continuation of that original trip. Hence, instead of paying 45,000 miles, I paid 24,000 miles plus $100 for 2 business class flights and an extended 2-month stopover in Singapore. Essentially buying a single-leg business class flight from Penang to Singapore for $100. It doesn't sound impressive until you consider what Singapore Airlines charges in cash for the same journey. The price of a one-way business class ticket would have cost around 900 Singapore dollars. Sadly, this travel hack is now discontinued, and you can't pay $100 to add an up to 1-year duration stopover in Singapore anymore. To be clear, you can still fly the same route with a short transit in Singapore for the same cost in miles today. However, residents of Singapore can't benefit by stretching the date of their onward connection by up to a year simply by paying $100.
So we just cleared immigration, get our bags and go to the hotel.
If you enjoyed this video, why not drop a like and subscribe to stay tuned for more travel content. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.